about it. It all started when I was heading home from my friend Jason's house. It was about 3 a.m. in the morning, so it was pretty dark outside. I was walking towards a bus stop to catch the blue night bus that ran during after hours. My friend didn't really reside within a suburban area. He was more or less closer to the downtown region. That meant there were a lot of random weirdos strolling around the streets, which definitely made me a little uncomfortable to say the least.
They're uncomfortable, I have to sleep out here.
I decided to wait inside the glass shelter of a nearby bus stop as I regretted my decision to take the bus this late at night as opposed to just calling an Uber. I couldn't help but notice the dozens of flyers stuck up on the glass of the shelter. They were scattered everywhere, all varying from different things like job postings, rooms for rent, that kind of thing. There was this one flyer that really caught my attention. It was a picture of an older gentleman doing a peace gesture with his left hand. The title of the posting was called, Easy $300 in One Day, Call Me. I decided to read further into the flyer as the thought of making an easy $300 in one day seemed like a bargain one couldn't refuse. The flyer had a description which read, if you are looking to make a quick $300, then you come to the right place. This job entails the assistance of cleaning/chores for a period of 12 hours. Call my cell phone and the details provided below if you're interested. Regards, Philippe. I was a part-time college student, so any extra money would have definitely been beneficial to me. I decided to take a plunge at the opportunity, so I took a picture of the flyer as I see a night bus arriving towards my stop. As I boarded the bus, I refrained from calling the job posting as I didn't want to wake the employer up, so I ultimately decided to text the number instead. My text read, hello, please contact this number as I am interested in the job presented in your flyer. About 10 seconds later after sending the text, I get a call from an unknown number. I assume it was the guy in the job posting, so I answer it. Hello? A man answered back, hey, you interested in the job? Is this Philippe from the $300 a day posting? Yes it is. What's your name, kid? I'm John, sir. How are you? He completely disregards my question and says, you mind coming over right now, kid? Sir, it's kinda late for that. Can we do tomorrow? Kid, listen. I know it's very late at night, but both my wife and grandma are sick, so I could use a helping hand as soon as possible. I felt really uncomfortable knowing this guy was trying to guilt trip me into coming over to his house. Mind you, it was approximately 3 a.m. in the morning, which made the thought of going that much more absurd. I tell him, sir, if we can arrange this for tomorrow, it would be much more convenient for me. Kid, John, listen. If you come right now, I will pay you double. $600. Take it or leave it. Whether the man was bribing me or not, I unwisely took the bait. I ended up saying, I'm on my way. I'll be there in about a half an hour, while simultaneously getting off the bus to call an Uber. I ended up getting dropped off at the address provided within the flyer, and began second-guessing my decision. While standing in front of the house, I get a call on my cell phone. It was from an unknown number again. I answer it and say, "Hello? Hey, Johnny, can you see me?" No, sir. Where are you?" "Look at the window." "I'm looking at it, but I don't see you, sir." "Look a bit closer. I'm looking dead at you." Where, sir?" I get startled by a firm grasp on my shoulder. "Oh, I'm sorry, John. I didn't mean to scare you. I thought you could see my reflection in the window. Anyways, please allow me to show you inside my house." Thank you, Philippe." "You can call me Creep." "Creep? Why would I call you Creep?" "It's a nickname that my mom gave me as a young boy. All my close friends call me that, so I'd appreciate it if you did the same." Okay, Philippe. Creep. We are technically friends now, right?" Yeah, sure." "Very well then. Let me show you inside, John." We end up going inside, and I can't help but notice the amount of dolls laying around his house. It honestly looked
I'm Gigi. My husband's Kevin. We have 4 very active boys. Patrick's 10, Kieran's 8, Declan's 4, and Malachi's almost 2. We love being outside, especially the boys. They're always together. And my first pregnancy was Patrick. He was adorable, so cute.
Patrick was, no complications. Patrick was fine.
We banked Patrick's cord blood with Viacord, never thinking that we would need it.
It's one of those things, you'd rather, like insurance, you'd rather have it and not use it than not have it and need it.
It was something that we felt was important, but something we never thought we would ever need to use.
Then we start noticing things. He's crawling funny when he's drinking his bottle. He would hold it with his right, and then his left paw, his left hand, wasn't holding. It was just like a fist, like this.
He fell a lot when he started walking, and we also noticed when he would stand, his left leg would turn in. So then now he goes into pre-K, and the teacher says, "Oh, they can't understand him, so they kind of walk away from him." And I was like, "Oh, nobody's playing with him," She also said that he couldn't cut with the scissor. He was tripping a lot in the classroom. He can't open up his snack. He can't put the straw in the juice box or open the straw. We made an appointment for a neurologist, and she said cerebral palsy.
So me and my wife were like, and I don't want to believe it,
It was hard because for so long we had a neurologist, an orthopedist, our pediatrician, another physical therapist, all telling us that he was going to catch up. So getting that diagnosis changed everything because it wasn't something that's going to go away. He's going to need physical therapy or occupational therapy throughout his life.
When I first met Patrick, he presented with decreased strength. He had such low endurance that in a 20-minute span, he was exhausted. He struggled a lot to keep up with his peers in gym, on the playground.
I didn't like playing sports with my friends because I couldn't always do as much as they could. Like, I would get tired, and then they would still be playing.
that was it, And about a year later, got contacted by Viacord, and that's when, the shot heard around the world. That's when it changed our life.
We banked Patrick's cord blood with Viacord, and we would get notices in the mail. This time I opened it, and it said that Duke was doing a study for cerebral palsy using the child's own cord blood, and if you're interested or know anyone to contact, and they gave the information. Right away I emailed, and they emailed me right back saying, "Send me all of your information, all your reports, anything that you have, we'll review it." And came back to me and said, "It looks good, but we need the results for his MRI." We didn't get the official diagnosis until we got his MRI. That's when it confirmed that he had a stroke in utero, and there was damage on the right side of his brain that affected his balance, coordination, motor planning. And it was like bittersweet because here's our confirmation. So even though it was upsetting, there was also hope because, well, with this now, we can be in the study. And I went on Firecord's website, and there was a couple of stories about people who had participated in it, which really helped us make our decision. It made me think, well, if it lessens his struggles just a little, it's worth it.
And this is your child. You got to do everything you can for your child. That was my motivation for going. Just so, I could look him in the eye when he's a man and say, we did everything we could for you.
When Patrick was first infused, I started noticing big changes in his motor function and his coordination. His stamina significantly increased.
The changes after his infusions, physical therapy-wise, he could do jumping jacks, jump rope, which is something that he couldn't do.
He can ride his bike now with confidence. His left foot always used to be perpendicular to his right, and now they're perfectly straight.
When he was younger, he couldn't run because he would trip and fall, and now he's running races and winning.
Patrick loves sports now. I mean, this is a kid who was tripping over his feet when he was walking, and he has 100 ribbons and medals.
I can keep up with everybody, and I can play. And I don't get tired when I get home from school anymore.
I think his future is limitless. I think he could do whatever he wants. He's definitely going in the right path, and it's a wonderful feeling.
We were so grateful that we had Patrick's cord blood to give him because he's like a different kid today. He's unstoppable.
About to whoop his ass.
Not everyone's life runs in straight lines. At Sophia, we get that. Our flexible, affordable, self-paced college-level courses help thousands of people just like you complete their degrees for only $99 a month.
Honestly looked like he was a hoarder that had an obsession over dolls. I decided to ask him, why do you have so many dolls? It's just a collection that I've accumulated from my childhood. Aren't they precious, John? I've built a special bond with these guys. I'll never feel alone again, you know? At this point, I was pretty convinced that the name Creep was actually his biological name due to the creepy vibes he was giving off. I see. Well, what exactly does this job entail? Well, for starters, my grandma and wife are unfortunately ill, so I have to take care of them since they're in bed all the time. If you don't mind me asking, what's wrong with them? Well, my grandma has Parkinson's, so she's unable to function without my assistance. My wife sadly got into a tragic car accident after her dance rehearsal. She's pretty much paralyzed in her legs and can't walk, so I now have to take care of her as well. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. She was so beautiful before the accident. I'm unbelievably lucky to be with such a beauty like her. We got married and had about 100 people there. It was the best wedding ever. Sorry if I'm getting carried away. No worries. What would you like me to do for now? You can start by vacuuming the house. Just don't go inside the bedrooms, because that's going to disturb my grandma and wife's sleep. A couple minutes later, I begin vacuuming the hallway upstairs. The bedroom doors were slightly open, so I could vaguely view the inside of it. I remember seeing a glimpse of a woman sleeping on a bed, which I assumed to be his wife. It was unfortunate to see her like that, as she was quite beautiful from what I was able to see. I noticed the man was in the other bedroom having a conversation with his grandma, so I continued vacuuming without drawing too much attention towards his direction. Have you been feeling better? Are you okay? The next part of the story is what sends chills down my spine. The man asked me to put the vacuum down and meet his grandma. As I approach the inside of the bedroom, I see a creepy life-size doll laying on the bed. I unhesitatingly ask him, where's your grandma? John, don't be rude. This is my grandma. I felt my heart fall to my stomach when he said that. I honestly wanted to get the hell out of there, but I didn't want to potentially put my life in danger, so I just went along with it and said, "Nice to meet you." He then said, "My grandma thinks you're really handsome and you should come over more often." Sure, I'll definitely come over more often. My grandma wants me to grab her some McDonald's. Why don't you continue vacuuming the place while I do that? Sure, sir. Creep. The man then hands me an envelope and says, "Here's your $600. Thanks for being there for us." Yeah, no problem. I then continue vacuuming the hallway as the man exits the house. I need to get the hell out of here. This guy is a psycho. As I dropped the vacuum on the floor, I peeked inside the bedroom of where the man's wife was sleeping. To be honest, I felt really skeptical about leaving her there, so I shouted, "Ma'am, is everything okay? Can you hear me? Ma'am, are you okay? Can you hear me?" She didn't say anything. She honestly looked like she was heavily sedated off the meds I saw on top of the nightstand. I end up leaving the house and catching an Uber. I eventually make it home and remember the man had gave me the $600 in an envelope. Thank God I made it out of there. At least I made an easy $600. I opened the envelope only to see 6 pieces of paper. Each piece had a poorly drawn face with $100 written on it. I shouted in anger, "What the hell is this?" I contemplated on giving the man a piece of my mind, but I honestly didn't want any further conflict with this psycho. Just before heading to bed that night, I got a call from an unknown number. It was quite obvious that it was the creep, so I ignored it and never looked back. It's been a couple months since that creepy experience. I haven't gotten any more calls from that unknown number since. I was strolling around with my phone one day when I got a notification that someone followed me on Instagram. I noticed it was the creep from the avatar picture on his profile. I was pretty freaked out that he was able to track me down since he only knew my first name and we haven't contacted each other since. I noticed he had only one post, so I clicked it. It was a picture of the woman and the creep on the same bed. She looked sedated while wearing a wedding veil. The creep had his arm around her while there were hundreds of dolls surrounding the two. The caption read, "The best wedding in audience ever." She was so beautiful before the accident. I'm unbelievably lucky to be with such a beauty like her. We got married and had about 100 people there. It was the best wedding ever.